Let's do Godzilla.
Okay, here's my description. Okay, hold on. I gotta prepare for it.
Okay.
Hey, this movie is about two dudes that don't like each other. They like the same dame. If you walk into a party and you see both of them, forget about it. Get the f*** out of there.
That's my description. They hate each other.
Yeah.
And there can only be one capo.
Victor.
Yeah.
One Victor.
That was a really bad. I didn't practice that. That was actually the first time I attempted it.
Yeah. Really?
Can you tell?
Guy, it was so smooth.
Yeah. So anyway, there's really no description other than it's just Godzilla and King Kong getting a fight. It's really what this is about. Everything else is who cares.
Right. Absolutely. And you know, the funny thing is I just recently learned from this website called it's a podcast. It's called Dream Warrior Review. I just recently learned that there was a 1954 version that had a deep inner story. That
was it 54? Because the only one I know about is 63.
It's 54.
Well, because there's the one that I remember seeing. It was 63, and it was Kong versus Godzilla, and it was really stupid.
No. I'm thinking of just Godzilla.
I just remember like Kong sticking a tree in Godzilla's
mouth.
Oh
yeah. But what I'm referring to is the 1954 Godzilla film. That
was a great show. I forgot the Dream Warrior review guys did that.
Yeah,
I didn't listen to it yet.
Yeah, you should listen to it. They brought in a certain amount of subtlety and the new and ecological.
Oh yes,
and historical nuance to it. To Godzilla's life that was pissed on and put out for the more modern. What a steaming hunk of carbon bubbles.
So your video's frozen. I heard every part of that, but it was like spread out. It was awesome. It was like steaming pile of. So we'll see if it works. But it was awesome because you were frozen on screen.
Well, I'm often frozen. Here.
You should write a review. You know, I was thinking about that. Maybe we should get. I was thinking about doing a review as my other personality. I could write a review about Dream Warrior Review.
Personality? Wait. You do know that in order to have multiple personalities, you have to be a card-carrying member of a single personality first. You know that, right?
Well, I'm working on that.
I just saying.
But that's a good idea. We should put reviews out about ourselves as somebody else.
Yeah, as somebody else. Yeah.
This is the best show ever.
To go back to this, I just had so many problems with it just kind of seemed like they were just flailing at each other, and that's all this was about.
I love the fight scenes. I was like, yay! Because if you saw the one from 1963 was really bad. It was a guy in a rubber suit, and he was like sticking a tree in the Godzilla's mouth, and Godzilla was like, it was catching it on fire.
Well, that would have been more fun than this.
It's a lot more fun.
Now tell me if this didn't seem to you to be a 1950s film that was mixed with the original Batman colors. Mixed with the Batman versus Batman and Robin colors.
No, right? that's yeah.
Right? I mean with the neon, that city and the neon lights, and the neon lights being all in like two tones. You know, it was just weird.
I have a question, like, well, okay, so just so you know, I looked it up. It's 59 years. It's been 59 years since they fought each other. 66 years after the first Godzilla, and 87 years after the first King Kong. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
But, I had the same thought about the the fight. There's one fight scene where they're in the city, and they're fighting. I don't want to say who's fighting, but maybe. Well, I guess whatever they're fighting. There were no people. Like the original Godzilla, you see people running away from as buildings are collapsing.
Right.
It was a very empty city, and it was.
It was a very empty city, and it made me. It's weird is that there was something about it that. I mean, one of the ways that you dealt with creating depth in the small models back in the day was basically blue screening it, which is, I mean, with black and white, basically you didn't have to blue screen. You just shot through the clear frames, right? Having people in the foreground gave it depth, right? And that lacked here because they assumed that all we really cared about were the monsters beating up their CGI world.
Well, that's kind of why I was there to watch it.
It was such a CGI world.
Well, the thing is, I showed up to watch them fight each other. That's what I got. So I don't have many complaints, but I did miss the people. I missed the little ants running away.
I miss the people.
And the story they had that was...
No. Put your hand here like this.
Oh, I miss the people.
I miss the people. There you go. That's better. That's more convincing.
Okay.
I miss the people.
Well, the story they had here, the human story they had here, I don't give a shit about Millie Bobby Brown. I think she's a terrible actress. I don't know why people like her, but I think she's pretty, she's kind of like girl who played Princess Leia, Carrie Fisher. I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying that, but she's not the best actress. And I think I could see Millie Bobby Brown kind of playing a role in Star Wars eventually someday, but I just think when she delivers lines, it's very flat and I'm like, okay. And then the other guy, they missed the boat on the other guy, the guy from the, what's the guy's name? Julian Dennison. They didn't have as much comedy as they should have had.
Yeah, that was one thing. There was one point where somebody actually said something that was actually laughable, and it was actually so noticeable standing out against the rest of the film that I swear the people, and I saw it with a few people in a theater, that we actually looked around to see if that was okay to laugh.
Was Brian Tyree Henry? He's probably one of his lines. He was actually kind of funny. Yeah,
it was, but man, it was so flat. It was.
Well, I didn't care about the story. I was like, oh, okay. And the script was awful. I'm like, who wrote this? Did they write this and just shoot it the next day? I mean, without even editing it?
Really, man. And the layers and layers and layers of work that are involved in all the CGI stuff. And the CGI stuff, here's another problem. There's a really specific problem that you had with this. And I can't tell if it's because I have an old brain that's used to creating scenes that have a focus point, right? And here's the thing. None of these scenes have focus points because, for one thing, everything is crisp, right? Everything is absolutely crisp. And incredibly detailed. And the thing is I don't know why a production designer didn't step in and say, okay.
Yeah, the background should be faded, right? Real image.
Well, there are a million ways to do it. But if you looked at one of those scenes, any one of them, you looked at it, you would have gone, there's a problem of focus in the scene. And as a production designer, your job is to refocus that scene as to what matters, right? But you can't tell the difference between the debris and the building next door and the monster, and especially when it's bathed in neon light everywhere. I mean, the thing is, and also, look, when you build a city has all kinds of different strata of lights and differences. There isn't just three particular bands of colored light that duplicate themselves through the city. That is not what makes a city.
This is supposed to be Hong Kong, which definitely is not three colors.
No, my God, exactly. This is what I'm saying. It's like a bunch of buildings got up in the morning and went, oh my God, look, that building put on the same lights as I did. I'm offended. The building next to it, was I'm wearing that. One of us is going to have to go home and change.
Again, the party scenario.
That's right. Again, the party scenario.
So, yeah, well, I don't know what I was going to say about that. The buildings. I don't know, whatever. I had a point,
It just
but I
didn't look
totally
like a
lost it.
city. It didn't look like a city. There were too many buildings that looked alike. There were too many matchy colors. It seemed like the whole entire city was done in a pink and a purple and a blue.
Did you like the what about the hollow, what do they call it? Hollow Earth?
A hollow Earth?
The little where the thing switches and they missed an opportunity. They should have had something happen there. You know what I'm saying?
I know. But you know what? I have to say this is it sure looked a lot better than Hong Kong.
Yes. No, yes. That's what my point.
I mean, didn't it?
Yes.
I mean, it's like the end of it was the first scene that kind of had like a production designer refocused it. Said that this is we're going to have like the monster. We're going to see King Kong like right here. And these.
Well, you had a set with him in the set. Sitting on
yeah,
things.
and the rest of it wasn't set. Like that was Hong Kong.
Well, he was actually. Well, I guess they were interacting with the set. They were being smashed into buildings and stuff, but this was different.
I don't know. It caused a certain amount of exhaustion in the eye, and
well, I felt like everything stopped. Like, okay, we're having this awesome fight, then it stops, and then these characters we don't care about. And then I actually kind of like the little girl. That was kind of a cool little story they had with the little girl.
Yeah.
But that was about it. And then they got to the place where everything was all crazy. That was kind of fun, but then I was trying to follow, like, who am I supposed to root for? Because I think I'm supposed to want to root for King Kong, because he has the expressions and he's like very nice. Right. But at the same time, I was rooting for Godzilla because he's always been a friend to the humans. And
you see, that was another thing that I didn't
he was just hell bent on finding Kong. That's what it was all about.
Right.
They were both wanting to fight each other. That's all it was about.
It was. And
then there's a third character that was like, okay, that's kind of interesting.
I didn't like it, and I'm going to tell you the honest to God truth. It was. I saw it a little bit earlier. I saw it just after I got my first shot. Right?
That's why.
The day after I got my first shot.
Well, you're probably really annoyed because after my first shot, I was like, I had the worst headache in the world, and I was like,
oh my God, me too. And I was sitting there in the theater, and I'm gonna honestly say that I did go to sleep for about 15 minutes. It was just like so boring. I was like, oh my God.
Well, I liked how they showed King Kong with some intelligence, and because he could sign language and he had more expressions, and it seemed like I liked it when the spit flew out of his mouth when he was like, which I don't think I've ever seen that before. But I don't know, I like certain things about it. I like the fights. I do agree that the city looked like crap, but I think I like this one more than you did.
Oh, I'm sure you liked it more than I did. Oh my God.
I mean,
the fact that you're still talking about it.
It's a bad luck story for King Kong. Oh. I mean, the humans are trying to replace you, and your arch enemy shows up. I mean, King Kong is having a really bad day.
Is this what it is? Is that what it is? Yeah, any day that I get to get up in the morning and just destroy bad-looking Hong Kong, that's a good day.
Actually, it's sad because I kind of like this one a little bit better than the last one, and I just hated the human story that they tried to crowbar in there. So that kind of lost points for me, but I enjoyed watching the scenes that they're fighting. I like when they're in the water, and I liked the scenes where they go to the Hollow Earth or whatever. That was kind of fun to watch.
So just
the sci-fi guy in me liked the scene where they're flying through the ships, going to the Hollow Earth thing. That was kind of cool.
Just cause. I mean, how did you like? It's King Kong or Mighty Joe Young?
The ending was awful, by the way. I don't remember Mighty Joe Young enough to.
Better story. Mighty Joe Young was a better story. But
well, even the last King Kong movie was a better story.
Yep. But they have yet to do even as good a story as the original King Kong. I mean,
well, this is that whole MonsterVerse thing, where they're trying to revamp the monsters and change how they look and stuff. And I almost think they should go back and
it is absolutely not working.
Well, they could do that. They could change how they look because they look kind of cool. I think Godzilla looks really cool. They should kind of go back to the old plots and maybe remake those like the original Godzillas. Like maybe make the first one. That would be amazing to see the first one redone to modern times, but done with the same rough script. You see what I'm saying? Because it all still applies, but maybe make it Iran with the nuclear weapons.
Okay, so the next film we have to see is Shin Godzilla.
I want to see Godzilla in the desert.
Have you seen Shin Godzilla? Have you seen Shin Godzilla?
Iran's been testing their nuclear missiles, and Godzilla comes out of the sand. Anyway, and he's brown this time. He's kind of a tan color. Shin Godzilla, no. I want to actually see that and review it with you, though.
Okay. let's. I mean, if we're going to go down,
about that.
if we are going to go down the this particular rabbit hole, the monster rabbit hole, then we at least have to go past Shin Godzilla.
It's the only rabbit hole we haven't gone down. We've gone down zombies, vampires. What else have we gone down?
Invisible Men.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Yes. No. That's
we haven't done mummies though, but
that's a good point.
There's only like one or two.
Well, the good older ones.
Yeah.
I mean, the modern ones are pretty crappy.
Oh, with Brendan Fraser or what?
I love the one. Now wait a minute. I love the first.
I like
one
the first one with Brendan Fraser, but after that, no.
With Brendan Fraser was great.
What would you think of Encino Man? Is that kind of a mummy movie?
Well, you mean just because of Brandon Fraser's acting?
No.
Or Pauly Shore.
Well, I mean, like they're kind of, what's that word? They're stuck in that until they're thought out.
Yeah.
So isn't that a kind of a zombie? No, I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know the answers to things.
So what would you rate this?
Oh,
I mean, it had
God.
a Skarsgård.
Really?
We didn't even mention that it has a Skarsgård in it. It's not the cool one, but it's Alexander Skarsgård. And I like how it showed King Kong bathing and having a little R&R until he realizes that something's messed up. He's like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
You know what? I swear to God, this was so bad that the only thing that could have saved it for me is if he was jerking off and his spew leveled a building in Hong Kong.
That might be a new way to fight, though, wouldn't it? That'd be kind of a cool way to
That's what I'm saying, right? Hello.
Come up with something new, right? Well, it has a surprise in it, and I don't want to talk about it, but it's a weird surprise that I didn't expect. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what the second one's going to be. It's like, there's something. I don't know.
Because it would listen to Tom Hanks.
I expected a hit. Like, well, I'll cut this out, but when they were...
Yeah.
I would get this like a little bit above 2, like a 2.3.
Okay.
Below average, but good enough to enjoy it. I enjoyed the fights, and that's why I watched it, was to watch them fight. So I threw everything else away.
I'm going to go with 0.14. I'm gonna go with the fractional edge of pi.
I was right. I actually like this more than you do. That's obviously, yeah. Okay.
Oh, hated it. I absolutely hated it.
Well, this happened last time. We talked about the last Godzilla, and I liked that one a little bit more than you did.
Oh, I'm sure that you did. You know what? Until you watch Shin Godzilla, you ain't Shin.
But don't you think it's partly what you want when you go into a movie? It's like, okay, I'm going to see Avatar because I want to see blue, sexy people. And then, of course, I got to see that. But, like, if I go in expecting a really deep story, which really Avatar isn't that deep.
You know what? I did not... I thought the 1954 version of Godzilla, I thought it was the Raymond Burr 1956 version.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I did not expect that. And here's the great thing about it is you're right in one respect. My wife, I was like, hey, at the beginning I said, hey, I don't think that this one has Raymond Burr in it because he didn't show up in the credits, right? And then it started into an actual story.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And Paul's like, oh, I just wanted to see him blow up that one. I just wanted to see him go through the power lines on that one thing. And I was like, oh my God, this is a great story. And she was like, this is a great story. I didn't expect that. And because it wasn't what she expected, she didn't want to see it. She didn't want to hear from it.
So maybe the Americans are getting too hung up on the whole action thing. I think maybe they just wanted to put out a fun movie with them fighting each other. They didn't want to have a deep plot. There was no deep plot. But I think I want to see a deep plot again. I agree with you.
Yeah, you know, like.
So Shin Godzilla is on our list. I don't know. I like some of the other ones where he fought, like, you know, the whole fighting ones. I like the older ones, but they're all really cheesy. But you go in knowing that, so I don't complain about how cheesy. Oh God, I can see King Kong. I can see the guy under his suit. I don't care. Same thing with the rubber suit.
I love the rubber. I love the rubber suit guys. You know, I mean, you know, the thing is, it's sort of like call a thing what it is, right?
Yes. Yep. If it's
just saying, man, just saying.
All right. Well, okay. Maybe I was too generous in my rating, but I'm sticking with 2.2.
3.14. I'm at the 0.14. Yep. There you go. I think it's 0.147, right?
Yeah.
Here, let me figure pi. No.
I'm worried that now I'll never have Millie Bobby Brown or anybody have her on my show now. Carrie Fisher is too late, but you know. Actually, it's not. I could do it with technology.
I was gonna say, well, it certainly hasn't stopped. It certainly hasn't stopped Disney.
Right. Oh boy, yeah. I just got Disney Plus, and my kids are like in heaven.
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
And so's my wife. We're watching all these old like Disney movies.
Have you watched the Marvel series?
No, actually, it's on my list. I want to watch. Oh, you're talking about which one? The WandaVision. I watched the first episode, and I'm like, okay, maybe I need to watch another episode because I'm kind of like.
Yeah, it takes a while. It takes several episodes before you get going.
And I did watch The Mandalorian a couple episodes.
Mandalorian's amazing.
Actually, what I learned about how they did the whole screens, it's great. That's where I'm really intrigued by it.
I love it. All these people are saying, yeah, no, they're done with regular art department now. You know, you're gonna go in and the screen is gonna do everything behind you. Now I was thinking, yeah, well, it's gonna be just another tool.
It's like you said, focal points, which I think
focal points, man.
Yeah,
focal points. There you go. Yep.
I don't know. I didn't know about the whole technology. I guess I knew about it, but I didn't know to what level they were using it. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew they were using it, but I didn't know it was in almost every scene that was outside.
The thing is it's there's going to be 3D elements in front of you. What it does is it you know, in good design, in a good shot, you have the foreground and midground and the background, right? And the mix of where you put your action in that is the scene. Now, the background which used to be either on a location or used to be, if it was wide, it was, you know, some painted backdrop of some sort, or a photo backdrop. It is now movable. It is now actually just a screen that's always there. So it can certainly be an enormous help. It cannot be the whole game, though. I mean, no way. So there you go. So
anyway,
have we had enough of this yet?
I have.